All right, guys, we're making mac and cheese. And the funny thing is, I don't know if I've ever used the same cheese combination, but one thing's for certain, I always start with American cheese. I gotta have that American. When it melts down, it gets nice and creamy, and it makes for a really good base. So I got my American chopped up. Now I'm also going to use some sharp cheddar. I like the sharp cheddar because it has a really good tang to it. It has a good bite. So we got the cheddar, and we're also going to use some fontina. Just pull the wax off that, and we're going to shred this. I like this one because it's nice and creamy, adds a great texture. So this is my start. I'm going to use these big fat macaronis because this is basically going to be our entree. We're just going to have some pork chops on the side. Yeah, pork chops and mac and cheese. So the pasta goes in the salted boiling water. We're going to cook that off, and I'm going to make my cheese sauce. And we're going to start with a roux, melt down some butter. I'm going to add in some flour, and we're going to stir that around and get it all well incorporated. And then, guys, I'm going to let this cook for a couple minutes. Let the flour kind of cook down. Let the starches cook out of there a little bit. Then we'll slowly start adding our milk. I'm adding cold milk. Ideally, you want to warm your milk first, but I didn't have time. So I'm just going to put it in. Just have to be a little bit more careful to stir it really well and get all the lumps out as you incorporate it. Then we'll start putting in our cheese. I'm going to start with the American because, like I said, this is going to make a real nice base. And it's going to get nice and creamy. Then I'm going in with that extra sharp cheddar. Mix that around. Let it get nice and melty. Then I'm going to go ahead and pour in my fontina. It'll be the same thing. Stir that around. Let that get nice and melty. Doesn't take long once this all starts. And that cheese is shredded. It melts down really quickly. And this already smells great. So we're going to get this nice and smooth, guys, and we're going to go ahead and season it. And I'm going to add some salt, cracked black pepper, and some garlic powder. And then lastly, a little bit of this spicy brown mustard. That's going to add a real nice bit of flavor to our sauce. I stir that up really well, get it all well incorporated. It looks really smooth. Guys, it's time to finish with our last cheese, and I'm using this Reggiano Parmesan. This is going to add a real nice sharp finish to our sauce. It's just going to be just perfect. So I'm just going to grate some of this in there. I give that one final stir. Let it mix up. This melts down almost instantly, and I'm going to throw in my cooked pasta. Just mix that around. It's super saucy, which is the way I like it. I don't like dry macaroni and cheese. So I'm going to pour that in a baking dish. Guys, I'm going to top it with some panko. This is going to add a little crunch to the top, just a little extra texture. And I'm going to bake this in the oven. I bake it about 400 degrees for like 20 minutes. It doesn't take too long. It gets nice and bubbly, kind of browns off that panko a little bit. So I'll put a nice layer on there. And then lastly, fresh cracked pepper. I love pepper with my macaroni and cheese. So I got the pepper on there. That goes in the oven, and when it comes out, guys, look at that. It is bubbling hot, crispity crunchy on top. That's ready to go, man. Just get in there and enjoy. I gave it a little sample. Just had to get in and try it. Man, it was absolutely perfect. This will burn you, too. You got to be super careful if you're going to eat it this quickly out of the oven. I was able to cool it off just enough so it didn't burn me. And man, just perfect. Super creamy, super crunchy. The flavor of the cheeses worked great. It just pops with this deliciousness. What a treat. Thanks for watching. Cheers, everyone.